Hi, my name is Kerry Grinkmeyer. I'm a retired financial advisor. I'm 76 years old. I'm sitting here in Birmingham, Alabama. And I guess my number one objective is to protect my investment portfolio. And I have some opinions that are differing with some opinions from other people. So I'm going to express them, but I want you to understand they're just my opinions. They are based on my experience in the financial world as a financial advisor, which really as a financial advisor, you don't really spend a whole lot of time analyzing the market and the inflections of various activities in the market. But nonetheless, I've been in the industry for a long time and I have an opinion. And I find my opinion right now is contrary to a lot of people's opinion, but yet I'm acting on my opinion to protect my portfolio. And I think we are in for a big crash, and I think the people who are talking to you are telling you that it's not a big deal. It's just not a big deal. The reality is, I would ask you, though, forget about the names, forget about the countries, if the second largest economy in the world was having a real estate crisis, and real estate was 25% of their industry, of their economy, and at the same time they were having power blackouts, shutting down their manufacturing facilities as we enter Christmas, would you say that that could have some ramifications that would potentially damage my portfolio? I think it does. And I'm befuddled that I seem to be the only person who think it does. The second largest economy in the world has a 25% of their economy wrapped up in real estate, and they are in the midst of a real estate crisis. What happened when the largest economy in the world, who had, I would guess, probably 5% of their industry in the real estate world, had a real estate crash? What happened? Well, my research says that the stock market here in the United States dropped 50%. So, am I just all wet that what's happening in China, whoops, I said that word, really has nothing to do with the United States? I think it does. And I think we are putting a blind eye to it, and we are being told it's not a big deal. It's more important whether we get an extension on our budget and we can incur more than $28 trillion in debt. It's more important right now that Joe gets his anywhere from $3 to $5 trillion authorization for expenditure. And I will grant you that's important. It's real important. But I think we have a supply chain crisis and a financial crisis in front of us that the world is ignoring. At least CNBC and Bloomberg's and the Wall Street Journal, that's where I get a lot of my information, but I have to dig for it. So that's what I want to talk about in this video and share my opinions. And again, that's all it is. I am not your financial advisor. I'll be right back.
Best of Us Investors presents Kerry Grinkmeyer.
I just saw Jim Cramer basically say it's a China problem. It doesn't affect the United States. Well, this is to you, Jim. Are you aware that General Motors last year got 43% of its revenues from China? How about Nike? These are my shoes. These are my new running shoes. Cool, huh? I bought 2 pair of them, actually. Spent, what was it, about $300 on them, on the 2. Nike gets 19% of its revenue from China. So of my $300, 19% of it stayed in China, I would assume. Apple gets 17%. Boeing gets 25%. Caterpillar 10%. Those aren't big numbers. What about Wynn Resorts? 75%. How about Qualcomm? 66% of their revenues come from China. And you're telling me that it's a China issue, that 25% of their industry, that the bulk of their population is going to be put under a squeeze where their houses aren't worth what they owe money on it, what they paid for them. You're telling me that has nothing to do with my market? What did it have to do with China's market when it happened in the United States? Well, I was in Spain when it happened in the United States. And it wasn't the Spanish banks that were failing. It was the U.S. banks. And China's, I was in Spain, Spain's markets collapsed. Micron gets 57% of its revenue from China. I think you're seeing a pattern here. Broadcom, 50%. Texas Instruments, 44%. IPG Photonics, 43%. AMD, 39%. Anything electronic, China. Now, watch this. This is cool. China's going into a blackout. A blackout. As we enter Christmas, why is China going into a blackout? Well, they have a little bit of a squabble with Australia where they used to buy a lot of their coal from, and they've cut Australia off because Australia said, China, you need to fess up on what happened relative to the Mononucleotide crisis. So they broke up their relations, and then now they're depending on their coal, which they don't have enough to do, so the prices are going up on the coal. So many of these companies, Apple's suppliers are shutting down between now and Christmas. So you're telling me, Jim Cramer, this has nothing to do with the U.S. stock market? Again, maybe I'm just totally insane. Maybe I'm making far too much of this. But then I reflect back on, I manufacture a product. This is my product. This is a children's toy and a book that I manufacture. In 2012, I designed this package. I wrote this book. I created these spindles, and I tried to get them manufactured all in the United States. Couldn't get it done. Could not get it done. Nobody would do it for me, so we can't do it. So I went to a toy manufacturer here in the United States, and I said, how am I going to get this manufactured? And he gave me an email address. And it was to Jackie. So I wrote Jackie. Jackie hooked me up with a company in Shantou, China. Here, look at it on the map. Shantou, China makes underwear and toys. Yeah. They have a whole city that makes underwear and toys. So there's multiple parts to my product. There's the packaging, which actually has a magnet in the side flap here that holds it shut. This all has to be printed and put on the package. This is injection molding. That's 70 yards of yarn on each one of those spindles. And this is a children's book that I wrote and illustrated. And I had to have it all put together. As I said, I could not get it done in the United States, but Jackie hooked me up with a manufacturer or multiple manufacturers, and then someone who put it together in Shantou, China. Told him I didn't need any underwear. So my point is, and then my shoes. My shoes are made right near to Shantou in Huzhou. I don't know. So that's the way the system works. Now the issue is, so Jackie tells me that he can make these for $10 a piece and deliver them to my distribution center in Atlanta. So they put them on a ship. They bring it to Los Angeles, put it on a truck, and take it to Atlanta. They take them off the truck and they unload them and put them in the distribution center. And then there's this container sitting there, empty. What do they do with it? Does the truck driver put it back on his truck and drive it back to LA? No. It's sitting in Atlanta. Now somebody's trying to figure, what are we going to do with all these containers? We have containers all over the United States that can't make it back to Los Angeles so they can be shipped back to, because we're not shipping anything back to China. We don't have any need for them. So people are building houses out of them. Does this sound like a broken supply chain to you? Does this sound like something that you and I need to worry about? Do you think it's important that Qualcomm gets 66% of its revenues from China? I do. And then we have our Congress up there saying, we're going to tax these people more. We're going to raise the income tax on the companies. Why don't you reduce their income taxes if they'll bring the manufacturing of the products that Qualcomm is making in China back to the United States? Why don't you just tell them you don't have to pay any taxes? Just employ our people. Again, I'm an old man sitting in Birmingham, Alabama, who doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground. But this seems like nonsense to me. And then I hear Bloomberg and CNBC and say, that's a China problem. Don't worry about it. Don't get concerned about it. Why aren't they 3D printing these shoes in the United States? Huh? It would be easy. You just take a mold and you 3D print it. You stitch this. Somebody else might have to make the shoestrings. No, we could never make shoestrings in the United States. We'll have to get them from either China or India. This is nonsense. Am I the only guy who's figured this out? Or am I the only guy who takes the time to talk about it? Our world is changing. And we're getting left behind. And China's suffering some tremendous problems. It has a tremendous demographic problem. You don't remember, I know, you don't know that from 1975 to 2015, China had a one-child policy. They don't have any kids. And most of the young people they have are men. And they're out on the farms. And the women are in Beijing or whatever, making shoes. Do you see the problem there? If the men are on the farms and the women are in the cities, we don't make any babies. We have a problem. Now, the government has mandated, well, we're taking away that one-child policy. We now have a three-child policy, so get at it. Wait a second. They're here and they're here. It don't work that way. It ain't that long. Come on. It's not this difficult. My point is, though, we need to recognize we've got a problem. There's blackouts in China. Christmas is going to be very cold this year. We can't get these anymore. We aren't going to be able to get these anymore. We've got to change the way we do things, or we're going to be left behind. We've got to reward Texas Instruments with lower taxes if they'll bring the manufacturing back to the United States. How did it happen that Toyota was killing us in the 70s with their cheap cars? But now Toyotas are made in the United States. Hondas are made right down the road from me. Mercedes are made on the other side. And then Hyundai is made down by Montgomery. How did that happen? Why can't we get the shoes back? Why can't I get this made? Because we don't have cities. We aren't geared to it. We have not done the work to put ourselves in the position to protect ourselves from the dragon that's about to eat us. And our politicians and our business people are not paying any attention to it. I am. I'm limiting. Back in July, I think, or June, I told you, get out of China. Have you read about they're going to sue the bondholders for, what is it, Evergrande, are going to sue Evergrande for for default on their bond payments. Well, where are they going to sue? They own a company that called Evergrande, at least their element of it, that's out of the Cayman Islands. Just like NEO, just like Xpeng, they're all out of the Cayman Islands. So when you want to go sue for your bond payment on Evergrande, you're going to show up in Grand Cayman. You may get a judgment again. What are you going to do with your judgment? Go to the post office box that is Grand Cayman's Evergrande? No, you're probably going to get on an airplane and fly to Beijing and say, hey, we've got this judgment against Evergrande, and you need to pay us our $85 million, and then you need to pay us the, $2 trillion that's actually the loan we made them. Good luck on that. Folks, we have put ourselves in a very precarious position. And that's farsighted. The short sight is it's going to be a very cold Christmas because all our containers are in Atlanta and the ships are backing up outside of Los Angeles trying to unload, and China's in a blackout. Oh, besides that, they got a real estate problem that the people in China, their value of their real estate has dropped by 25%. But that's not a problem. It's certainly not a U.S. problem. I beg to differ. Okay, that's my rant for the day. Been mulling this over for quite some time. I'd be very appreciative if you think I'm dead wrong. Tell me in the comments. Come to bestofusinvestors.com. Give me your email address and I'll send you a link to our Discord. And you come to the Discord, and for the next 30 days, you just tell me I'm totally crazy, and I won't bill you anything until the 1st of, what would it be, the 1st of November. But I'd like to hear from you, because I think we're going, just like China, they're in the dark. They're in the dark right now, and I think we are here in the United States as well. But I think we're just about to have a horrific accident. All right, I got that retirement channel I got to do a video for as well. Talk to you again soon.